would be a travesty if Ally Carter doesn't get a movie deal out of this. Hey y'all, my name is Nat. I hope you're having a terrific day today, and for this video we are going to be doing a ARC reading vlog of The Blonde Identity. Alright, before I get to anything bookish, make sure to hit like and subscribe down below, as well as tell me in the comments, have you heard about this book? Are you intrigued by it? Is it on your TBR now? Let's talk about it. As per usual with a ARC reading vlog, I received a e-copy of this in exchange for honest reviews, so thank you so much to Netgalley as well as HarperCollins for that. Honestly, didn't have this on my TBR originally. I actually picked this up because my friend Allie adores Ally Carter's middle grade series, the Gallagher Girls, I believe is what it's called. She recently reread those and found out that Ally Carter was coming out with an adult book. If I'm being completely honest, it kind of seems as though this is a adult Gallagher Girls sort of story. Very basic synopsis I knew prior to requesting this was that it is following a woman who is twin sisters with a secret spy. However, said woman ends up with amnesia, and there's a romance with a male spy. Obviously, with the title like The Blonde Identity, you can tell it's kind of a play on the Bourne Identity. I suppose the setup also is very reminiscent to it. Honestly, this seems like it's gonna be a really cheesy rom-com-y good time. I'm expecting I will probably blast through it pretty quickly, but seeing as how this is the only book for this ARC reading vlog, I'm gonna do my best to slow it down so I can give you guys updates as I go. Hey y'all, so I needed to give you guys an update because I have already read like 50 ebook pages into this book and realized that like I really shouldn't read anymore before I officially talk to y'all for the first time. So I believe I'm roughly about 16, maybe 17% in, and already I am enjoying this. It's definitely a spy rom-com. It's very reminiscent to, what's that movie? Killers with Katherine Heigl and Ashton Kutcher, but there's an amnesia element to it, so it also kind of has like Bourne Identity energy as well. Our main character wakes up in Paris, she has amnesia, and the first person she sees is a spy who's yelling at her and calling her Alex. So she assumes she is Alex. Come to find out, Alex is this super secret spy that apparently has gone a little bit rogue and is now wanted by people in Russia. I don't know exactly what they are, mafia, the Kremlin, something along those lines, as well as American CIA. That's crazy. The guy who was yelling at her, oh shoot, what was his name? Sebastian? Sawyer. Sawyer was Alex's on-again, off-again partner. He and Alex don't particularly like each other, but he knows who she is, and he realizes she isn't Alex because they have different hair colors. He initially thinks she is Alex wearing a wig and disguised, but when it becomes obvious that she is not wearing a disguise, he realizes, oh, you're her twin sister. As though the amnesia spy element wasn't enough, let's add a twin sister on top of it. It's so ridiculous, but it's a lot of fun already. I am enjoying it. The writing itself is so entertaining. Very laughable, lighthearted. I mean, I'm reading it really quickly, which is why, again, I wanted to give you guys an update before I continued. There's also just a slight bit of romantic tension between these two. We still don't know our female main character's actual name, Alex's sister. Pretty early on, it's revealed that she doesn't really like swearing, so anytime Sawyer swears, she yells at him for his language or glares at him, which I just find immensely amusing, and of course it makes me think of Captain America. Sawyer is both frustrated by her because she's completely inept in this department and he just doesn't have time or ability to really stop and try and help her, but he realizes that she has no other options. Like she is kind of screwed because she looks just like Alex. So he does agree to help her, and already they're kind of forming a sort of friendship. There is so much teasing, there's a lot of banter, and I'm all over that. I do have to say it's very interesting having the main character whose name you don't know in this sort of a story. It also is dual perspective, which I do enjoy. I feel like so far the voices for both the characters are pretty distinct, and I like that the author actually took the time to highlight the change in perspective with either her or him, which was very clever, seeing as how, again, we don't know our female main character's name. Hey y'all, so I have hit 41% into The Blonde Identity, and wow, this book is absolutely ridiculous, over the top hilarious. I'm loving it. This would make for a perfect rom-com movie, honestly. It would be a travesty if Ally Carter doesn't get a movie deal out of this. We have finally had a name given to our main character, but I'm not gonna say what it is, just because I think it's way more entertaining when you don't know it. And I think it blends into that main character being completely confused and lost when you also feel that, because you don't have a real name for her either. As far as the romance goes, though, I do feel like things are moving a little bit fast. It seems like our male character is falling for her fairly quickly, acting all rough and tough. He has no chance of happiness. He has no chance of a real life. He's fantasizing about a lot of things with her, not just in the sexy sense. And I don't know, I just have a hard time seeing that when they've really only known each other for literally 2 days. I still think they have phenomenal banter though. They are so funny. The situation they have gotten themselves into in order to try and continue running from the Russian mob is hilarious. Moments that have spun off due to that situation are even more funny. I am constantly cracking up laughing. I was actively scaring Sam the other night while I was reading this in bed. It's so dumb and so over the top, and I'm having the greatest time with it. It's one of those where it's like, just turn off your suspension of disbelief, because just from the premise alone, like, you realize this is going to be completely outlandish, but it's a great time. I do think both characters have really solid personalities. I think they work well together to form the dynamic we've been seeing. I was a little concerned that I wouldn't stop to give you guys an update, but I made myself do it. Here's hoping I will do it again before I finish the book. Hey y'all, so I am just shy of the 70% mark into the Blonde Identity. Continuing to absolutely love this. I'm howling laughing. It is so ridiculous. It's so funny. It's so aware of what it is. The comedy elements, the spy aspects are just so over the top and ridiculous, but it's so much fun. Like, it really is so much fun. This definitely gives me vibes of like the Lost City movie with Sandy Bullock and Channing Tatum. Spy elements are so nonsensical. It's so much fun. I do maintain the romance went a little too fast for my taste. One of them, I don't remember which one, but one of them commented that they felt like they were falling in love with the other. And once again, my brain was like, you've known each other for 2 days. I don't know, I can't help but wonder if it's like Florence Nightingale situation. He just finds comfort in somebody who is so normal and still has a sense of humor while looking in the face of like all of this terrible things they've experienced. The mystery is definitely underdeveloped. I would like for that to be a little bit more explored, but it seems like it's gonna be more focused on just the adventures they are going on, and then things are gonna wrap up with that mystery element really quickly at the end, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but I would prefer if it was a little bit more prevalent in the story. We've gotten a hair of background about our hero character, Sawyer. Definitely edgy, stereotypical, tragic backstory for a spy guy. At the same time, as far as personality goes, I'll appreciate the fact that he's aware the outlook people have on spies because of movies and books and things, and he tries his best not to be that, even though he is that. It's very self-aware, and I'm really entertained by it. I mean, at the very least, he outwardly comments about the fact that he doesn't want to be a James Bond Lothario sort of dude. He doesn't want to utilize women in that way. You know, like, I'll admire that about him. The writing itself is actually pretty good. It's very bingeable. I'm blasting through this anytime I'm reading it. This is kind of the book I've been picking up anytime I'm going to bed. So I don't usually get a ton read, but the chapters are so short that it's really easy for me to be like, I can read another one really fast. And then I say that 5 times in a row. Also, as far as the romance goes and the writing, I will applaud the fact that Carter knows when to drop a pet name. I know some people really dislike pet names in romances. It depends on the name for me personally. There's one that he utilizes that I'm not a big fan of, but she drops them at the most opportune times. They have such an impact because of where she places them. Very, very good. Very impressed with her on that part. Yeah, I'm having a great time with this. Like I said, I'm just shy of 70%, so I thought this would be a good time to check in because honestly, we're probably nearing the climax, and once I hit that, I wouldn't be surprised if I blast through the rest of it. Hey guys, so I officially finished out The Blonde Identity. I am happy to report that this was exactly what I expected going into it. A spy rom-com that is filled with dramatic, ridiculous, over-the-top antics. It is trope-filled, but damn if I did not have a fantastic time. I really have to say, Ali Carter's writing in this is compulsively bingeable. The pacing is so fast, the writing reads really quick, the chapters are super short, and then it's just hilarious. It's, like I said, ridiculous, over the top, but you can't put it down. I read the last little section in a single morning. Ali Carter managed to have me invested the entire way through. As far as characters go, I'm very shocked to say that the female main character is probably the most developed and has the most growth in this, which is particularly interesting seeing as how she's an amnesiac. She's really dorky, she's very cute and lovable. She's also a bit naive, slightly clueless, yet you can't help but root for her. You want her to succeed. You want her to get through this, hopefully as unscathed as possible. On the other side, the male main character, 𝗖cie. By the end of the book, it was so clear that he was a very over-the-top, dramatic spy character. He detests how spies are portrayed in media because no, his job is far more serious than that. Which I will say, that element right there did lead to some phenomenal banter between these two. Of course, he is also a certifiable badass with a slightly tragic backstory who, for some reason, can't help getting attached to this klutzy amnesiac who's, you know, needing some help traveling through Europe. As far as characters go, he's just so stereotypical and predictable. The romance between them is as well, but that doesn't make it not likable. It's so expected, and I think that's why this book works, because it knows what it is. I will admit though, as far as the mystery element went, though I wanted more from it, it did actually take some twists that I slightly expected twists. I did not expect those twists to occur. All in all, I think this was a fantastic, good time. It's so cheesy. The love declarations at the end were starting to push my limit. I was starting to hit the point where I would roll my eyes. An L word being dropped when you've known each other for 5 days is way too out there for me personally, even with everything else in this book being so outlandish. That was kind of where I drew the line there. But even still, I just had such a fantastic time that although my comp pile came out to 3.5 stars in this, I had to give it 4 stars because it's exactly what it says on the tin. It's hilarious, ridiculous, goofy rom-com. I highly recommend because it's such a fast read. Honestly, I'm glad Ali made me request this from Netgalley. All right, y'all, so that does it for today. Thank you so much for coming to my channel. I really appreciate it. Make sure to hit like and subscribe down below. I have all my socials as well as a few ways you can support me linked in the description. I come out with videos on Monday and Friday, but until then, I hope you continue to have a terrific day. Love you, bye!